is it going, everybody? Excuse me. How's it going, everybody? My name is Jim Groom, and I'm doing this week's Reclaim EdTech stream. I have been playing with old arcade cabinets for almost 4 years now. And I got to the point with my local group that I don't really have any work to do on them anymore. It's all done, more or less. So recently, I have been playing with retrocomputing for a while anyway. But recently, after seeing some stuff at Reclaim Open with Taylor's little machine, I forget what it's called. It's like called something like the Magic or the Mister, which is kind of an FPGA, not emulation, but almost a reproduction of these machines, but then allows you to kind of load up Windows 98 or 95 or Commodore 64, depending on, and it plays pretty real. But I actually wanted to go back and play and experiment with some actual old Windows machines. In fact, in 2018, I bought a couple of old Windows machines with the idea of doing a installation of a 90s living room at Coventry. We didn't get the full living room going for various reasons, but we did have an installation with a 90s computer. And I haven't had time since doing all the arcade work. So recently, having a little more free time, I decided to return to some of the Windows stuff. And so this stream is to kind of share some of the pain and some of the pleasure of working with a Windows machine, because I tell you, people, it is not all fun and games. In fact, I've been keeping track of some of this on my pin board, and you can see, let me get a better kind of ratio. Maybe this is better. This is a pin board that I'm trying to track all my Windows 98 woes, or what I've learned. And I'll go to some of these sites. I have them opened. But I have been doing this. You can see, let's track it 7 weeks. Probably, well, there's December. So probably for a few months on and off, I've been playing with this. And at least one of my 2 Windows 98 computers is now completely shot. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So it is not for the meek, as they say. Let's take a look at some of what I've been working with. So one of the sites you might find useful if you're playing with some of the retro web stuff is this. There's a site called the Retro Web, and it's like a database of information about old computers, floppy drives, CD-ROMs, motherboards. It's a pretty amazing. So the first computer I had was a tower, and I'll show it to you when I do go over to the Windows 98 machine, because it's sitting there in a bag. That's the one that's not working. But you'll see if you search for the name of your computer or a part, you can find it. So one of the first things I did is I searched for my computer. And the computer I had that I completely borked when I tried to change the CD-ROM was this MSI MS6195. It had an AMD 750 Iron Gate chipset, and it was about 200 megahertz, so not a very slow computer for the time. Circa, I would say, late 90s. I don't know exact date. I would say 99 or so. But this is a look at the motherboard right here. It's a really cool site because it gives you everything from all the details around the chip to the BIOS, drivers, documentation. It's really well done, and logs. But then it also gives you these PCI slots and stuff, as well as images, so you can make sure, oh, is this actually my motherboard? But yes, this is the motherboard for this MSI Tower computer that I bought. One of the issues with this computer was that it was an Italian computer, so I bought it on eBay here in Italy back in 2018, I think. And my Italian is decent, but not great. So when I would run into these error codes, I'd always be like, what exactly does this say? What exactly does this mean? So for the next computer I bought, and I'll talk about that shortly, it was in English, and I made sure. The retro web, if you're looking for a computer to kind of diagnose or a database to find out more about various parts, stuff, this has been invaluable for me. So the first thing I wanted to do to this tower was I wanted to add an Ethernet card. Because why not? Why not get your 1999 computer running Windows 98 second version online? It's a total sensible thing to do, right? So I bought one for about 15, 16 euro. It was a 3-COM 10 by 100 PCI card. And those are all the statistics. And this is where I started to get into what is the pain of retro computing. So I get the card. It comes to me, very quickly from an Italian seller. Thank you very much. And then I'm like, doesn't come with any software though, or it doesn't come with any drivers, no CD I can install, no disk I can install. So I'm like, what's going on here? What am I going to do? So the next thing I do is I actually go to, and this is kind of where we all go eventually, is to the Internet Archive. Because the Internet Archive, as you probably know very well, is a treasure trove of all software. And this actually was the driver I needed for this card. And so what I had to figure out next is, okay, how do I get this CD-ROM to run on my computer, right? Do I need to download it and then burn it and then run it? Or do I need to maybe download the ISO image and then find a application that will run it? So these are the things and questions you start to get in as you're trying to find these old drivers and old software. And it's, I guess I call somewhat of it the pain, but it's also part of the pleasure is, figuring out these old things. So this does run on Windows 98, so I'm fine. And it is compatible. So I installed the hardware and then I went about trying to get the drivers so that it would work. So the next thing I did, and I could on this one actually download the drivers and then put them on a floppy disk because they were downloadable for this group. But I kind of wanted to play with the disk thing. So I think I might have taken the easy way out on this one and just put them on a little drive. Although there's a whole question about what you can do. One of the things with these two machines I have is they both have USB ports that act like flash drives. So the USB port works with a flash drive. So you can put it in there and you can have software. So that was a whole new thing that I don't remember working with my 97 Windows 98 machine, or in 98 or 99, whenever I went from 95 to Windows 97, I don't remember being able to use a USB port like that. I'm not sure when they became commonplace, but I don't think it was as early as 97 or 98. Anyway, I used the USB a bit because that was fine. The next thing I wanted to do, so I got the PCI 3-COM Ethernet card in. I got it to work. So my Windows 98 machine was online. It was very painful to browse the internet. And then me and Taylor did another stream a couple of weeks ago called the Proto Web, which was a great tool that now I have to use once I get this PCI card in my other computer. Because remember, this PCI card is in the computer that I eventually bricked. We'll talk about that. Hold steady. Then there's, okay, I was thinking, what was one of the games I played back in 97 when I got my Quantex computer and was living in Brooklyn? And one of them was Motor Racer. So again, I went to find it. The Internet Archive has a copy of it. And I actually found a zip file of about 400 megabytes. And this was interesting because this zip file was actually full of different, individual files that a tool, which we'll talk about in a second, called Daemon, could read as a virtual disk or virtual CD. And that was really pretty, oh yeah, so USB 1.1. So I'm getting from the comments, Mark Corbett Wilson is noting that USB 1.1 was released in August of 98. So it does make sense that some of these later 99 would start to actually adopt them. But that would be super, super early. So that's great. Mark, awesome detail. I did not know. Love that. And actually, thanks for watching. Big fan. So anyway, Motor Racer was a game I wanted to get running. So that sent me down to one of the things, if you're doing any retro computing, I highly recommend, is there is tons of really good forums out there. For example, Vogons. I don't know what the name stands for. I'm probably missing a very readily apparent reference. But Vogons is a great forum for some of this retro computing. For example, this person asks Simon, how possible is this? What is he referring to? Image creation and mounting in Windows 98. So I want to create an image and mount it of this Moto game so I can play it. And then Davros comes in and says, try version 3.47 of Daemon Tools. And Daemon Tools, and this is another great, so Vogon's great forum, use it all the time. But another site, if you get into retro computing, and again, I am just dabbling in here, but having fun with it, is called oldversion.com. And oldversion.com is another great site where you can go and look for your tool, for example, Daemon Tools, because I'm following the advice here from Davros, who says you should get this and it will do what you need it to do, which is basically take the image of Moto Racer that I downloaded from Internet Archive and run it as a CD so I can install it. So anyway, I go there, I find Daemon Tools 3.47. There they are. They say it's compatible with Windows 98. I think I ran that on my computer. I didn't know if I had to try another version, but I believe that worked. And there it is. And there's tons of old software stored here. It is amazing, old version, if you get into this stuff, how much you can do. Vogons are fictional. See, you guys are great. You're better. The audience is better than the streamer as usual. The Vogons are a fictional alien race from planet Vogsphere in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a book I have not read. So that's a big gap in my literacy, is that I didn't know that. But to your point, Shannon, it is amazing. There's a whole world out there of people who are like making this web possible. And trying to reproduce the experience is interesting because it reminds you just how painful computing on Windows in 1998, 99, 2000 was. Like, it was a painful experience, and I'll get into that in more detail as I go through this. Another great tool, if you're going to be doing any retro computing, is called Ultra ISO. Ultra ISO is essentially, it's a paid tool, but they give it to you for free. It's one of those weird tools that you can just use it for free. That allows you to take those ISO images you get from the Internet Archive or wherever and burn them to disk. Or again, take these images or these files and make them an ISO so that you can use them with a tool like Daemon Tools. So this is an invaluable tool I have found for getting software or using some of the stuff we'll need, because a lot of the trick with Windows 98 computing is finding software, finding drivers to run the stuff you want to play or do. So two big tools. One of them was Daemon Tools. The other one is Ultra ISO. I found them both invaluable. I even found this video, which was an internet video, you know, that internet thing. And I'll remove myself here so you can see the whole thing. This is how to burn an ISO file in Ultra. It's a 7-minute video for the idiot. Oh, a 1-minute video for the idiot that I am, just to make sure I was doing it right. So anyway, there's all sorts of resources out there. Now, one of the things, if you kind of computed back in, let's just say you computed back in the 90s like I did, one of the things that I had and I wanted to get access to was a whole series of zip drives, of iOmega zip drives. So I have one. Hold on one second. I'll get it. This is, hold on, let me get my headphones on. This is a zip drive. So this is kind of fun. It looks like this. It was a zip drive that you would attach to your computer using this parallel serial port. And then in this, you would stick a floppy disk, but it was not a floppy disk that had about 1.14 megabytes of data. This carried a whopping 100 megabytes of data. And this was known as the zip disk. They then made the Jazz disk, which I think did 250 megabytes. All of this kind of, before the CD became more prevalent, or maybe not, but before burning CDs became more prevalent. But it was another way of carrying large amounts of data in that era. And so the zip disk is something that I wanted to get going on this computer. I have yet, on both my computers, been able to get the zip disk running. When I remember, you would just attach the zip disk to a serial port on your computer, and boom, it would be found as a drive, and then you can use it. On neither of my two computers has that been the case. Why, I don't know, but it's been driving me crazy. And I've done things like gone to Vogons and looked extensively at other people who've had these problems. But most people are like, no, that's not, it shouldn't be like that. It should just show up, which I agree. I even went to Internet Archive and found the software disk, right? So the drive where you can kind of install, but this is only for Mac OS. It should work out of the box for PCs. So I did all my, burning of this disk so I could run it on my computer, and it was a Mac, it was a Mac application, so it didn't run. So that was frustrating. All right, so I had one win with the Ethernet cable. I still am trying to get my zip disk running. And on my tower machine that I'll show you in a second, because I'm actually going to show you my Windows 98. It's not just going to be me talking all the time. Actually, most of it is going to be computing on the Windows 98. I promise you. I'm going to go to the little, see that little space back there? I'm going to move from here to there, and we're going to compute Windows 98 style. So there is more to this than meets the eye. But before I go there, I wanted to tell you my story. So I have my Windows 98 tower. I'm playing music through it because it's got the CD player, and I really love putting the CDs in. I got this big audio system that's from 1997. That's awesome still. Has a big subwoofer and these two small speakers. So I'm playing my song, and so I go to open the disc. Blondie's in there, parallel lines, and it won't open. Everything I can. There's no trick to put the paperclip in. Like, it's a black box. Turns out I have had, yes, I have had, there is crashing. I have had a CD-ROM 52 times, so it's 52 times speed CD-ROM that I have been carrying with me since I lived in Brooklyn in 1998. I mean, 99, like a long time ago, maybe 2001, but around that time. And it has traveled with me for over 20 years. And I was like, this is why I finally have an excuse to install it. So I uninstalled the CD-ROM that was not working, and I had to kind of roughly disassemble the actual mechanism because it wouldn't open cleanly for me to get Blondie's CD out. But that's fine. I took it apart, and then I put in this new CD-ROM. And I hooked it up exactly as the other one was, thinking about they have this whole kind of master-slave setup with the drives. Learning all this stuff about IDE and stuff I did not know, so it was very useful. I then turn on the computer again. It will not load Windows 98. It will get to the Windows 98 green screen. There'll be a cursor, and it just sits. Sits. I don't know what happened. The CD-ROM, while opening, closing, light on, has power. It's not being registered by the motherboard. And then I got into the BIOS, which is trying to tell me what drives are active and what's working and what's connected to what. At the end of the day, that computer is still not working. I have a CD-ROM in there. We'll look at that computer in a second because it's right behind me in that bag. See that bag right there? That has the Windows 98 second edition tower that is not working, and I have plans for that, which I'll talk about right now. So, yep, CD-ROM not detected on Windows 98. This is another forum where I've been trying to find help. Has not been helpful. I am now loading that machine in safe mode, and one of the things I'm learning about safe mode is you can't get files off. So I was like, I'll just put it in safe mode and take all my files off because I have a ton of games and stuff on it. I don't think you can get stuff off safe mode. So doing all the stuff I need, Windows in safe mode, pain in the butt, Windows in safe mode. As you can see, I've been stuck here for a bit looking for all the options. And then I'm like, okay, is there a way I can detach the hard disk from that Windows 98 machine and then plug it into something and grab all the data, or even more sophisticated, make it another disk on my new Windows 98 machine that you'll all see in a second. So that kind of brings you up to date with my borking or bricking an entire Windows 98 machine that's still running in safe mode only, and all the games I have, and I have a ton of games on it, are basically inaccessible to me unless I get on Amazon and buy myself one of these like StarTech.com 3.5 drive bay IDA S. I don't know which one to get. Like, this is out of my league. So I have to research which adapter to buy because there's IDE, but then there's SS. There's another kind of disk that's supposedly better. But again, I don't know. So anyone who has advice for me, I am here because I do not pretend to know. But anyway, I'm looking for a way to read stuff. I'm also looking for a way to serialize that disk within my existing machine. But I didn't want to do that before I did the stream because I was afraid I would brick my second Windows 98 machine. Yeah, see how I care so much about the stream that I didn't want to do anything before it broke. So here's where I am. Can I add that hard drive from the machine? Because I did a scan and the hard drive's not corrupted. Could I add it to my new Windows 98 machine? That's where we are. So that saga is there. But you didn't come here for that. You came here to see some old school Windows 98 computing. And I actually can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to magically change spaces and I'm going to move the camera from this camera to a new camera, and that will allow you to see now me from the front, and then this is me in the back with my bald ass head. And so what I'm going to do now is remove this, and then I'm going to walk over to the Windows 98 machine, and then we're going to play around there. Okay, so give me a Okay, so here I am, and I finally got remembered to turn on my camera, on my mic, and I have some reclaimed branding going on there. I could probably get rid of the record. I might do that because it will bother me if I don't. I'm all about the branding, so if branding's off, right, I gotta fix it. Fix it, Jimmy. So I got rid of the record, there it is. And now I'm going to start this Windows 98 machine. And I have another camera where I can show you a little bit about my setup. But let's start Windows 98, will we? Shall we? Let's see how this works. So you should see what I see on that screen there. It should start loading for you. All right. No, hold on. Oh, yeah, there it is. I hope you heard that. I don't know. I'm now away from Discord, so I can't see your comments. But I imagine if you heard that, you had some happiness. Okay, so here I am on a Windows 98 machine. A couple things about Windows 98. There was Windows 98, and then there was Windows 98, the second edition. So I have a copy of that. Hold on. Give me 1 second. That I burned using that ISO tool I told you about, Ultra ISO. So there's Windows 98, the second version. Let me get that in there. And that's kind of the version my other computer had before I bricked it. And actually, I can even use my other tool that I have here, which is nice. I have a kind of like pocket cam, document cam. So watch this. My handheld cam. So see that? That's my Windows 98 second version. This is the machine I bricked. And that's the Asus 52 times CD-ROM that I put in that made everything go to hell. This is my streaming setup with the Windows 98 right here. This is some of the stuff we're going to go through. That's my machine. But this is the Windows 98 second version. So this is still the first version. I am debating whether I install the second version on this machine or not. I might, because a lot of the drivers that come with the second version help me run stuff like the Ethernet card and updates to DirectX and stuff that make it better to play games. So we might do that. But for now, I'll put the document cam back and we'll go to our stable shot. Okay. So what do we want to do today? Well, maybe I'll demonstrate some of what I talked about earlier, and we'll see if we can get this to run. So one of those tools I talked about is this Daemon Tools, right? And Daemon Tools basically creates a virtual drive on your computer. So here you have your A drive, you have your C drive, here's my D drive with an audio disc in it. And so if I click on that audio disc, right, what will come up? Winamp playing a little Pixies. So I can pause that, put that down. That's working fine. And then I have a removable drive, and this is what I was talking about with the USB drive, thumb drive, right? There's some of my Windows 98 software that I loaded to it. So that's pretty cool. There's the game Pitfall. There's Earthworm Jim. Not all of that works. And there's the Daemon tools, Nero, some other things I was playing with, etc. There's the 3Com LAN software I talked about loading. So you get the idea. On top of that, there's an F drive. And this F drive is actually a virtual drive that is made by Daemon tools. So Daemon tools, which I can run right here, actually allows me to go and create a drive. And so if I click on this, that is the Moto Racer ISO file that I created to install this game. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to try and install Moto Racer on Windows 98. Let's try it. This was one of the funnest games I played. Look at this, okay? Welcome to Moto Racer. Warning, this program is protected by copyright. We completely respect that. We're going to put it in program files Moto Racer. Remember that. We're going to put pretty typical, nothing custom here. Oh, remember this? Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so the program is loading. It may take a little time for that to happen, but I think we are doing good. I'm going to go look at this cord and make sure I'm not ignoring anybody. So the hardware is muted. I wonder, can you hear me on there? Or am I not coming through at all? Hold on one second. All right. Okay, so let's try it. I think I got it. You should be able to hear me now. Setup is complete. You may run the install program by double-clicking on the program. Do you want to install DirectX? I don't know if you've heard that, but I will wait to hear from you. That was there. Yes, let's go for it. DirectX 3. That could create all sorts of problems for us. So we are installing DirectX, right? And then I think that's installed. So we should be able to run this, but let me just make sure people heard something. That sound jump scared me. Good. Okay. There's jump scares in the sounds. So let's run this and see if it works. Now, whether or not, oh yes, yes. It's like sit up. Now, can you hear that ending? That's really Let me just check, see if people can hear both. Okay. They're saying nothing, so maybe not. But I think.
Enter your name. Make your choice. Play solo. Select your mode. Select your race. Let's go! Three, two, one, go! Game over. Try again. Select your race. Select your mode. Make your choice.
Okay. See if it exits cleanly back into Windows 98. Might take a second. There it is. So, point here is that the Motor Racer is actually running as a CD, but the files are all here. And this Q file is what I'm able to load through Daemon Tools. So I'm able to go to Daemon Tools. I downloaded this off of the Internet Archive, meaning Motor Racer. I go to this device, which is device F, and now I can load that. And I can do that for all sorts of games, which is really, really cool. Now, there are other games on here, like Age of Empires 2, Grand Theft Auto 2, Unreal. There's even the image viewer. I think Andy Rush would appreciate this. Earfan View, some Acrobat Reader, WinZip, Winamp. So let's hear if you can hear my music now, because I know it didn't work before, but I think you should be able to hear it. You might hear a little of the Pixies now. Good. And I'm hoping you can hear me, but we'll do this. So that's Windows 98, and everything seems pretty much in order right now. But the job is, let me take you through a couple of things. We'll do this together. I'm going to switch screens on you. And this will take you to my document camera. So that's what you're seeing here. And there's my Windows 98 machine. And there's some of the disks. So this is a tutorial on CSS that I had on CD-ROM. Here is a Where's version of Microsoft Word, Excel, Outlook, all this physical media with the code right there written on top. This is the one that I talked about just before that I burnt with Ultra ISO. This is a Windows 98 second version, which I may load on this computer because this is still the first version of Windows 98. I bought this disk because I needed it. There's the Pixies, but I have a lot more stuff. So here's Jim's Stuff Games, 1990. Let's open up the CD-ROM. Let's take out the Pixies disk. And let's put this disk in and see what's in there. Hold on, I'm just going to have a little issue working with one hand. Okay, I got it. So we're going to take this disk. I'm going to load it in here. And then I'm going to change cameras back to the more traditional view. And then we're going to go to the CD-ROM and see what we have. So here it is. And at this point, it's named a very readable 9704226_1239. And when I upload it, it's Jim's stuff. And so what we have here, and this is always dangerous to do this publicly when you don't remember, is we have some games. We have Photoshop from back in the day. I think we have a game called Interstate 76 by Atari or Activision. There's one called Samurai, Redneck Rampage, which is a great game. Need for Speed 2. I wonder if I should do Redneck Rampage. I might want to triple play Outlaws, and I think it's Comanche. I don't know what that is. The Quake Mission Pack 2. Let me see if I can bring Redneck Rampage down to my, well, I don't, maybe I can download it to the computer. See how long that will take. 50 seconds, so not bad. And it looks like that's a RARD game. You see that? R12, R13, R16. That means I might need an application called WinRAR to extract it. And that will be interesting because that's where we start getting into all the different applications you need to do this stuff. So I don't think WinZip will work. I think WinRAR will be necessary. So let's see. Okay. Redneck, yeah, it's definitely RAR. So Redneck Rampage, it's RAR'd. So, oh, there's UNRAR. So let's just see if it will UNRAR if it asks me for the application. UNRAR command. So it's going to put me into DOS and make me do some command line stuff, which I am not willing to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my E drive, right? So get out of my Jim stuff and go into the removable disk. And I believe in my removable disk, I had a version of WinRAR. Yeah, here it is. So I believe I can copy this version of WinRAR, one of them, I don't know which one will work, I think this one of them over, and see if I can then install WinRAR and see if that works. So let's see if WinRAR works. That already came down? Yeah, that was quick. Okay, let's just see if WinRAR opens. Oh yeah, there it is, WinRAR. I'm going to install it in Program Files. Boom. All right, it's telling me these are all the kinds. I'm going to say don't worry about zip because I'll have WinZip do that. And okay. Thanks, I'm done. So WinRAR installed. So theoretically now, I should be able to go to Redneck Rampage and unrar this using WinRAR. So it's not finding it. So let me go here, open WinRAR, and then go to Redneck Rampage. All right. So where do we do that? We go here. We go up one, because Redneck Rampage is on the desktop. So this is me finding my way around the Windows machine. Where are we going, Jim? Oh, there it is, desktop. And then there is Redneck. And there's, we're going to go to unrar, right? And it's going to ask me where to. Yeah, extract to. Let's go to Windows. Let's go to C. And then we'll do something like games. See if that works. Okay. Message, Redneck unrar, no files to extract. Click. What? So let's go to RAR. Okay, let's do extract to. Okay. And this one is extracting them. Extracting the group. I don't know why the unrar exe. Maybe that was just running the unrar program. So this is extracting them all, and I think it's extracting them into this folder right here. And that will be Redneck Rampage as its own folder. So let's just see. Yep, Redneck, RAR12. This game is fun. Wait till I open it, if it works. I don't think this game, maybe it could be made now. I don't know. But it's crazy. This is very much a game of the 90s. And I'm glad to have this getting running. This is from Jim's stuff. Remember, this was from a CD-ROM. And I had it RAR'd up. And we'll see how big this application was. You know, some of these were like 100 megabytes, 200 megabytes, like not gigantic. So it had 34. So basically the RAR is just a compression tool that breaks the application up into various pieces and compresses it. And this is getting to the end of that compression with a total of how many different pieces? 41, 42, 43, 44. Okay, there it is. So you see all these, nothing changed there. But now there's this application here called Redneck. And in it is, I think, Redneck Rampage. So let's see if I am correct. So I'm going to do one thing first. I want to save myself some confusion. I want to go to Redneck, and I want to take the Redneck with a capital. I want to put it somewhere else. So let me close this. Close this. Let me do a little cleanup on my computer. Does anything like in CD, is there like games or anything? No, but I can take Redneck off this and I can put it in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Redneck and I'm going to put it on the C drive. There it is. Okay. And so that avoids me from getting into the confusion of what I copied over from my disk. And I can now put that in the recycle bin. Yes, I'm fine with that. And goodbye. Okay, now let's see if we can get Redneck Rampage installed. This looks pretty scary, but let's try setup. And now we're pushed into DOS. And this was always the hardest part, is to get the sound setup going. Choose sound effects card, and it's Sound Blaster. And use these settings and continue. Yes. Unable to play the sound, the creative SBCI wave device is in use by another application. Not responding on selected port. Press any key to continue. What application? Oh, maybe this one. So let's close this. Okay. Choose sound card. Now it's test sound card. No? Let's choose sound card. Sound blaster. Okay, that worked. 8 voices, 8-bit mixing, stereo sound, 11 kilohertz. I'm just going with what they give me. Choose sound effects card, test sound effects card. Playback failed, possibly due to invalid or conflicting IRQ. See what I mean? This is where it starts to get crazy. So you go to choose sound effects, sound blaster. Where the hell is the IRQ? IRQ. Let's just say 5 voices, 8 mixing bits stereo, 8 kilohertz. Playback, press any key to continue. What? So again, sound effects, sound blaster, volume, RTS file selection, change, but we are not getting sound effects here. And that's annoying. Sound man? No, this is a sound blaster card I have in here. Where is the IRQ? See what I mean? Change interrupt. 5 channels. I would have to play with this, and this is where the pain comes in. 1 IRQ settings. Okay, so at least we found that. Let's go to 7. And then Sound Blaster 2. Let's go to escape, change address, escape. Now, exit, test.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
They're both in the right channel. They're not really making a difference between channels, but the audio is working. So I don't know how I fixed that, but I did. That's insane. Okay. Save settings before exiting. For now, yes. I'm not going to worry. Now type Rampage. Okay, yes. Type Rampage to play Redneck Rampage. Come on. Should be doing this for me. Set main. I can just go to Rampage. All right, let's see if this plays. All right. Is not designed to run in a DOS box. Double click the Rampage shortcut instead to restart your computer in MS-DOS mode and launch the game. Mash your keyboard to quit or C to continue. I'm going to try C to continue. Okay, so this is one of those games that just doesn't want to run. It only wants to run in DOS, and you will get that. Now, I could, or run in the DOS box, I could double click the Rampage shortcut instead to restart. Let's see, the Rampage shortcut. Okay, hold on. You see what I mean about the pain? Rampage bat, pig head, redneck rant. Let's try this. Setup I got, set main. So there's that again. We went through this. Save, I'm going to go to this. No such file. They won't let me do it. At all costs, they want me to restart in the other mode. So that's kind of crazy. No. All right. That's fine. We will not get too hung up. I'll have to come back to this. But Redneck Rampage is now on this computer, thanks to WinRAR. And this here, they said I can just type Rampage, but there's no place to type it. And I like that it's all caps, but you can't do that. Okay, so we'll close this. A couple of games that came with it were Grand Theft Auto 2, Prince of Persia. Let's just look at Grand Theft Auto 2 out of curiosity. It's not something I've opened yet. But you get a sense with those Sound Blaster settings for those DOS games. Same with like, oh, look at this. Wow. Start play in Area 1. Rockstar games, look at that. This is an early Rockstar.
And remember, respect is everything.
But how crazy that Grand Theft Auto 2. And it still seems to have the violence and everything, but it's just this strange out of look, lawmen killed, civilians murdered. It has the same idea. Yeah. Look at that dude. A Rockstar production of DMA design game. GTA, and this came with the computer. Right? Not a game I've ever played. I've obviously played the later Grand Theft Autos, but not 2 or 1, which I have the original from. There's Age of Empires, Raptor, Demolition Razor, Unreal. I don't think you all want to watch me go too deep into that, but let's take a look at some of the software that came with this. You got. Notice that the Windows Media Player is super simple, but with Windows 98 second version, it gets like a facelift. It becomes a lot slicker. There's the internet. I will get this computer on the internet. There's all your system tools, some Notepad, some WordPad, some Paint. Some people love their Paint. Communications, little phone dialer. Your fan view. American Online. Should we try it? There's going to be nothing it connects to, though. Click if you live in Canada. Click if you live in the UK. Click if your country is not listed here. Sweden software is available for download there. That's awesome. American Online. God, great. Okay, let's go and see benchmarks that will benchmark this computer. See where we're at. WinZip, WinAmp, we started there. CC, this is Sandra Crash Fix Utilities. So I guess this is to deal with crashing. Twilight, Unreal, Unreal. Moto Racer, that's the one I installed. WinRAR, I just installed. Okay, I'm going to try something real quick. I wonder if I can do it. And I know I probably lost everybody on the stream already, but I'm going to restart an MS-DOS. And we're going to have a little MS-DOS experience right here. So we're going to go to CD, and that's it. And then if I do list, is that right? So it's like CD, and I think it's Shift Rampage, right? And valid directory. So what about Rampage? So how would I run Rampage? It should be directory. Yeah, there it is, Unreal. How come I'm not seeing it here? Because I'm in desktop? Redneck, that's why. So CD, and it's all capitals. Redneck. All right, so let's see, directory. What do I got to run? Let's try Redneck. Bad file or command. How about setup? And I might put the, oh, there it goes. All right, so I can save and launch Redneck Rampage from here. No? No file or directory. What? So dir. That's weird. Users, sheriff, Redneck. Redneck should work. Bad command or file. How about redneck.exe? No? That's weird. That's not. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to get this running. I know it's there. I know I can. Not happy with setup. Kind of messing me up. Because network game, use help file. Setup file name, save and launch. Save the current setup. What? DS protected mode run time, copyright rational files, exec error, no such file or directory. I don't know why it's doing that. But again, the pain of Windows computing. So I will exit. Windows is now restarting. That's a nice piece of DOS. If you don't want to stay in DOS, you can just exit and it will go right into Windows. And I'm kind of getting some of my DOS back. I had a little bit, but like I put ls because it's a Linux command, but it's really dir for directory. But I got to figure out why Redneck Rampage isn't running. The other thing, this is kind of cool, and I know I'm going well over time, but I don't expect that anyone is watching. Windows is now restarting, but that doesn't seem to be happening, does it? It's restarting in theory. Oh, I wonder if you all could see anything I was doing in DOS. I think DOS might have been an empty book. Okay, so let me just reset here. I have a reset button on the computer. And that should be able to hold down and reset. But no. Look at this. It's restarting, supposedly, but I don't know because I don't know if there's a, it's kind of stuck there in DOS. See, this is the story of my life with this stuff. I do something simple, and then it's like, okay, no, you should be able to reset it. And of course, it sticks. Do I want to turn the power off? Do I want to do the old school reset? That's a good question. I don't know if there's a direct power key. I don't know what I'll mess up if I do. But I don't know why. Remember, we're dealing with some old computing here, so okay, I'm going to take the power off. Okay, so that just killed it, and now we should be able to restart. We will see. Up, BIOS setup, safe mode. Do I want to start in safe mode? No. Go back to normal. So we'll see. We'll see if I messed up anything. Microsoft's normal mode, yeah. It's telling me I should start in safe mode because maybe something I did. But something they did, not something I did. So there's AOL, and we now have everything we need. So that was the Redneck Rampage I tried to download, right? That was here, Jim's stuff. That didn't work out so well, did it? MDK, that is also a RARD file, right? And then there's Outlaws, also a RARD file. Quake Mission Pack 2, Triple Play, which is a fun baseball game. DX3, Epison, NHL. Okay, let's just see. NHL 97. This might be a quicker run. And I know I probably lost folks. This is not personal. This is retro computing. And like I get into this stuff. Like once I get into it, it's hard. And I really, my next step, and I might do this follow-up stream because I'm probably going to stop this one here soon to save you some of the pain. See if I can get NHL 97 running, and then I'll stop after that. But I do want to see if I am able to get the old hard drive from the old computer working. So that will be an interesting endeavor. Good. So this is using WinZip. And I can decide where to extract it to, right? So extract it to where? C drive, and then make sure it's in a file called NHL97, and then extract. Right? There it is. NHL97. Okay. Extract. So now they're extracting all the files of that zip file into NHL97 in the C drive. And then we should be able to see if we can open up that game. Right? You love this, right? The old school filing cabinet opening underneath the vise. Not great. Just the visuals alone. With the heart and the wizard and this dude with the glasses. I have no idea what that is. We'll have to find out once this is done. But I just love it. I mean, it's kind of a view. Very different experience. Okay, so close this out. NHL, we got that. We know that. We get rid of that. And then we go here, and then we go to C drive, and then we look for NHL 97. There it is. And then we, hit the setup. Okay, I have a Sound Blaster, not Pro. This is MS. Sound card setting has been saved. Okay. Perfect. And then hockey. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this will be running under Windows 95. I want to run the DOS version. Let's see if this version works. Oh, yeah. You see it. That's awesome. Ace boys. It's in. We can. Look. This is great. This is gospel machine. Look for settings. Network. Sound effects on. Front end. Detail. Players' names. You can do all that stuff. You love that, right? This big. Once I get the zip drive running, and I don't know if I will, these old applications, and I have tons of them, you saw exactly with the NHL 97 and the, I'll work on now getting Redneck Rampage working. MS-DOS, there was that kind of transition between MS-DOS and games actually working right within Windows. It's fun. I get kind of taken with it, you know, and then it takes hours and hours. Yeah, sorry about the sound. I'm trying to manage two setups is never fun. Good to see you here. Carpet Bombers. Glad to have you. I can't believe all of the comments. I was not expecting this. Oh wow! So I'm sorry if I had to clip anyone with the ears, but I'm looking through some of the. Yeah, I am totally drowned out by the games. Yeah, the audio, I guess, is something I'm gonna have to come back to and look at with that setup. Tim was telling me to bring down the audio of the CD player, which I did, but I guess the NHL was like, you can hear it even through my headphones. I was like, pow! But you don't even need to hear me. You need to look at that interface of NHL 97. What games did I show? I showed Motor Racer and NHL 97. I got working. Did we get another one working? I tried to get Redneck Rampage, but I'm going to have to go back. That's a DOS issue. But I don't even know if DOS shows up when I'm streaming. So that's another question. That would be interesting. Yeah, Rampage. But it actually said it's Redneck, which is weird. I'm going to have to look back at that command and see where I messed it. Where I messed up. But I'll have to see. But geez, I can't believe you all hung around for so long. I'll do another one of these. I'll be playing. My next goal is to take that computer there. I'll adjust the sound pilot and figure that out. But take that computer there, pull out the hard drive, and try and get it working as an additional drive on the computer behind me. And that has some great games too. I have Duke Nukem, Doom, all of the classics. Doom doesn't come through on the stream, I found. Very hard to stream Doom because of some of the aspect ratio stuff in which they designed it. There's ways to do it, but I haven't been able to figure it out. Also, I have a ton of old school video games on that. So yeah, I'm worried about the transplant because the transplant is what got me into trouble with that bricked machine behind me. I transplanted a CD-ROM, and then the whole thing stopped working, and the BIOS was like, nope, no good. So anyway, this has been an overly long stream about retrocomputing on Windows 98. I really appreciate everybody sticking around. I know it was not as seamless as it could have been. Sorry about the sound. If there was some freakouts there, Pilot, I'm looking at you. But I do think that we got a little topic that I really enjoy talking about, and I'll try and make it a little bit more organized. The first part of this was organized. Second part, once I start playing with the computer, I'm gone. You know, it's over. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna kind of roll out now with the Reclaim TV end card to remind you that this is Reclaim TV, and we stream pretty much every Friday at 10 a.m. to bring you what's on our mind and hopefully yours. So thanks for watching. Big fan, and stay golden.